Good afternoon. How are we doing today? So we're celebrating, and it is a celebration. We're celebrating Black Mental Health Week. And I say it's a celebration because we are a resilient, very resilient people. And I think we have to give ourselves a round of applause whenever we find the opportunity to do so. So please, let's give ourselves a round of applause for surviving, for thriving on some days not, and that's okay because we can't be thriving every day, but we are such good organizers. We are so deeply rooted in community that is what we often use to fight back against the systemic barriers, right, against the everyday racism that absolutely has an impact on our physical health, our mental health, and goodness, our economic health as well too. So my name is Dr. Jill Andrew. I am the Member for Provincial Parliament for Toronto St. Paul's. I'm a member of the Ontario NDP Official Opposition, where I serve as the Women's Social and Economic Opportunities, Culture and Heritage Critic. And I'm really glad to be here with you today at the Toronto Archives in St. Paul's, honoring us and sort of spending space and sharing space with one another. I want us to give a round of applause to Stacey Ann Buchanan. Again, yes, I've been following you for years, all the way back, probably 10 years ago. I learned about you from Dr. Carla Rice, who was doing incredible work at the University of Guelph. So thank you for everything that you're doing. There is a sentence that Stacey Ann said today. Do not compare your chapter 1 because you could be comparing it with somebody's chapter 20. And I think that is so important because rather than building each other up, rather than seeing the blessing in those who come before us, those who come after us, those who are running the race right next to us, sometimes we spend more time in those weird, odd places of jealousy, in those weird, odd places of contempt. And it never serves us. It never, ever serves us. And listen, I'm standing up here, I'm not preaching, because I'm telling myself this as well, as I'm saying it to you. So thank you, Stacey, for that very honest piece. I want to also give a shout out to the Confronting Anti-Black Racism Unit and the City of Toronto for the work that they've done alongside community partners like Taiwu to make Black Mental Health Week a thing in Toronto. There are some of us in the legislature who have been championing this to be a provincially recognized week. Myself, I'm one of them, my colleague MPP Butila Parpoche, and former MPP Faisal Hassan for York Southwestern, which is our west neighbor. Make no mistake, we need to have a province that sees mental health as relevant as it does our physical health, because mental health is health. And many of the physical manifestations we have, they stem from our mental health crises. They stem from those of us who have had to survive, and some of us don't survive, through addiction. And I want to make it clear, when I'm talking about addiction, we're not just talking about drugs and alcohol. Anything that is unhealthily addictive can grasp us and stop us from reaching our potential. All of these pieces need to be recognized by our province, and this is why we're consistently fighting to have mental health OHIP covered. Mental health support should be OHIP covered. You should only need your health card, never ever a credit card. Never a credit card. Because that creates a have-not society, where some of us have access to help, some of us have access to the tools that make us be better people to ourselves, to our families, in our workplaces, in society in general, and others are left to fend for themselves. And then we blame them when they stumble. I also want to say to everyone in the crowd, if you need help, ask for it. That is something I've had to really drill into my head. because we're so socialized to do things alone and to be strong and to be resilient, black women especially. This is a stereotype. It is a myth that frankly hurts the black woman more than it builds us up. We are strong, there's no question. But asking for help is also a sign of strength, and that is something I've had to remind myself over and over again when I make the mistake of thinking I can't ask for help. Another thing that I'm working on that I would encourage everyone here to work on, especially the entrepreneurs in the room, is rest. I know it sounds like an oxymoron, entrepreneur and rest. Or like with me working in politics and rest. It sounds like an oxymoron because we're always going 24 hours. You're always thinking about how to get your business in someone's hands, how to see the right person, how to talk, what to do, right? But as folks who care deeply about me have often said, we cannot be good to others if we're not good for ourselves first, if we're not showing up first. So I really want us to hold on to that message, is rest as resistance, rest as part of our, as part of our revolution, so to speak, part of the movement, and actually a part of our success. It really is a part of our success. And lastly, as I always do whenever I'm at any event with my community present, is I always make a plug for politics. I always make a plug for politics. Notice I didn't say for one party over the other. Yes, I'm with the MPP, no questions asked, card carrying. Every party has its strength. Every party has its areas of necessary growth. But what I'm promoting is politics. There are 124 seats in the Ontario legislature. 124. Only 6 of them are held by people who look like me. 6. There are 3 black conservative members. There is 1 black NDP member. There is 1 black Liberal member. And there is 1 independent black member. I assure you, if we're not at the table, we're on the menu. Point blank, period.com. If we're not at the table, we're on the menu. And I assure you, the menu is long. What's up for grabs? Affordable housing. Education. And I won't get into it because I was a child and youth worker, teacher, college prof, university prof, before I got into politics. Our children are caught in the crosshairs of systemic white supremacy in many of our school institutions. So as I said, we gotta be at the table or we're on the menu. Whether it's housing, whether it's education, whether it's healthcare, don't let me get started on the health disparities. Taibu is the expert on that, they can tell us. Right, they can tell us. Whether it's entrepreneurs and business, procurement, who gets the big contracts, who doesn't get the big contracts, who gets transportation, who doesn't get transportation, right? If we're at the table, we can have a say in those decision-making platforms and in those conversations. So please consider politics. There's no specific degree you need to get into politics. None whatsoever. Pardon? We need more of us in, brother. We need more of us in. We need more of us in so that we can share our lived experience as experts of our lives into policy. And last but not least, as Audre Lorde said, she was an incredible black feminist, lesbian scholar, African American. If you do not define yourself for yourself, you will be crunched into other people's fantasies of you and eaten alive. Please keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind. Keep being bold, keep being brilliant, keep being beautiful. We just got off of Black History Month, Black Futures Month. We just got off of International Women's Day, right? Let us celebrate our excellence. Let us celebrate our vulnerability. 365 days a year. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.